Okay, lazy woman here again. So previously, I remember so much, right? So, yeah, chatted too much without any, you know, aimlessly. So now just, my laundry will finish soon. So before that, I just let me talk about the movie I just watched out this morning. Yeah, when I got up, wake up, and because my my son, just locked his door not to bother him. So yeah, me also, my husband just went into the room and then he just also locked the door, don't bother him. And so me also, I went to my other son's room alone and I watched a movie. And that movie was, The Big Short. It's a quite old movie, and maybe you probably already watched that one. And I also, maybe I watched already at that time, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, I don't know when was released. I don't know, but it was quite old movie, and because I have a very short memory, yeah, even though I already watched it, I don't remember at all. It looked like it was my first time to watch it. So anyway, the movie was the Big Short, and the reason this is just it grabbed my eyes is attention was that because that there was kind of how can I say, the technique, the movie technique is a little bit unfamiliar things, mm, like this. Later, at first I don't know what kind of technique it was used, but later so I searched it and I know that I knew that got to know that it was a kind of meta technique. You know that the kind of the movie technique, the movie pattern. It's kind of when you look at the movie and it's supposed to be at a certain point, the scene, the character they talk to us directly, yeah, to the audience like me, and yeah, they seems they characters knows me. Seems to talk to directly to the audience like me. Yeah, that says that it's a meta technique. So it was a little bit weird. So I just started it this morning. This morning, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, mm, yeah, The Big Short is at first time. I don't know what time it is. The Big Short is but probably you do the you are very familiar with the financial term. You probably very also will be notice this term very easily. 공매도, but me I do not yeah, I don't do the stock or something. I don't. I'm not interested in the financial things, so I don't have a very even very basic knowledge on that field. Yeah, so I didn't know that. I just know that the title is a Big Short. Yeah, and I wasn't care about what that means, but it was uh, I am again rambling. Sorry for that. Um, Okay, let me tell you about the story about the movie The Big Short. It's it is as you can notice, it's a financial movie, and when I look at the movie, I don't care about I don't have the specific subject. I don't prefer a certain specific topics. I'm trying to, rather than that, I'm trying to, because my job is related to the marketing, I'm trying to, even though from the film, I'm trying to watch it in a very diverse way, so diverse subjects like that. But this kind of movie, financial movie, because I'm not familiar with those, the how can I say, the specific terms. There are a lot of professional terms. So I'm not sure if the term is right or not, but the terminology, such things, I'm not sure. Very, very well aware of that. So, I understand while watching the movie. I understand the story, but sometimes I don't feel like I understand the full deep text of that movie's contents. Yeah, but this time, it was a little bit different because the movie was a little bit related to my experience. Yeah, this movie is about dealing with the subject about the financial crisis in 2008. Do you remember the big worldwide financial crisis in America? Yeah, started from the America, but it was really totally affected to the whole worldwide, right? So, my case already was a little bit, affected to me in my life. So looks very special to me. Um, mm, the financial people, they, we really don't, the general public, we really don't know what's happening in the future, even in the very near future, right? But there were some, people, guys in, this kind of financial field, they say some of them already expected what's happening in the future. So yeah, this is movie is about that. So many of us we already know heard a lot of things, the Lehman Brothers or the America's, their mortgage. Yeah, we heard about that. And this movie, in this movie, there are certain the financial guys. They noticed earlier than other people, noticed the dangerous, the risk. The risk about the loans the banks, American banks, they are selling. Oh, they mentioning about it was I don't remember the CDO and MBS, something like that, and I don't understand very well. But what I understood is the American bank, they were selling at the time the kind of loan, uh, uh, very unstable, risky loan. Yeah. For example, the bank is supposed to, to lend the money to the general public if they have a certain, stable credit themselves. But this in this movie, they're saying that at the time in 2008, they are lending the money even in the very people with a very low credit. Yeah. So to get the money to for the to lend the money from the bank, we are supposed to be have a kind of how can I say, there must be kind of a documentation, right? They have to evaluate our credit, right, first, right? But yeah, and if we don't reach that standard, we are not supposed to get the money from the bank, right? That's the normal procedure, right? But it wasn't that way at the time. Yeah. They made in that movie, they mentioned that they made a kind of the financial products to lend the money to the general people. Even it, as I mentioned, even in the very people with very lower credit, kind of poor people like that, they don't necessarily they don't need to, guarantee themselves to the bank. So the bank itself, they can get a lot of fees, a lot of money back from the people, yeah. And also there are the kind of credit ranking company, yeah. They supposed to, judge what the bank doing the doing, right, before they giving kind of ranking to the bank, but there are kind of connection between them. So the credit ranking company, they gave a lot of the high ranking to the banks, to that product, I mean, actually the financial products. So normal people like us, the general public, they think that because the credit ranking company gave the high score, high ranking, uh, high rating, I mean, yeah, high score. So they thought that our normal people think that it's a safe product. So financial products is supposed to be very safe, right? So at the time, the American people, normal people, they think that yeah, they get the loan very easily, yeah. If they have a quite very high scoreable credit, it's alright, right, to borrow the money. They don't, because they have, even though they borrow the money from the bank, they have a kind of, how do I call it in English? I don't know the term, but they have a kind of ability to refund them, right? So return the money to the bank, right? But the problem was the very undergrad is, of course, there's a financial, the standard, yeah, they can borrow the money quite easily, and the big problem is that because they can get the money from the bank very easily, without that much obstacles, there are so many people have very several houses like as a property, their property, they can own their property very easily. They have maybe multiple houses, uh, quite easily, yeah. But that wasn't that they can afford the amount of the money to buy such things. That was a problem. So mostly there was the interest rate, right? If it's flexible at first when you borrow the money, and then later they're supposed to have a certain time, maybe 2 or 3 years. There have be over time that you have to refund the money, return the money with the fixed rate, right? That can be the problem. And then there were some people they noticed such a dangerous the time will come soon, when the period given by bank matures, reached, I mean, and then people yeah, the time people should return the money to, they will, and in that case, some housing prices will, the prices will be, skyrocket. Yeah, then the problem will come out, right? Like a bomb. So yeah, this story was so it was based on the true story. Yeah, so it was very interesting when something happened, and we know that effect already. So it was very touchable to our hearts. And as I mentioned, there are some, maybe maybe you don't understand what I'm talking. Yeah, and that movie and it's the way of playing filming is a little bit different, I said. So there are some famous people, they come out in the middle of the movie and they explain the financial terms very easily. Yes, so it's even though it's a financial movie, economic movie, but it's it feels it's interesting. It's quite easy to understand what the mortgage, what the the CDS, CDS, yeah, you can easily understand while you are watching the movie. For me, just forgot everything once just to finish watching the movie. Anyway, there was such a thing. So me, my case at the time, I was handling very, I was an employees at the time. I was a little bit, handling very small sized business, and it was related with China production. I mean, so maybe small sized importer I used to be at the time. So, in 2008, three things was happening in my life. The first thing was, as I mentioned, I was a small sized company's owner, a small volume of the importer. And then the second thing is my father-in-law just was very sick, and he diagnosed the cancer, and he was a he was he got cancer at the time. And then my first son was at the first grade in elementary school, so need to be care about very carefully. Yeah, so three things was happening at the time. So in the morning, I woke up with a very, stressful, foreign currency rating, rate. At the time, though, I remember it was almost Korean one, so weakening every morning, and against the dollars. So dollar, maybe it rises up to maybe 1,500, $1,500, almost. I think I don't remember exactly, but anyway, it was the currency rate is just skyrocket at the time. And in the morning like that, so I saw the bank site to the currency to check the currency rate, and then during the daytime I have to struggling with the phone, the customer's phone, that because I got all money from the customer already, buyers already, but I didn't send the money to the China yet. But I just promised to get the promise from the factory to have produced them goods, but I didn't send the money. So the reason is I have to even though I got all money from the customers, but I have to pay to the factory based on the change to the currency rate. So it was so much stressful in the morning, and then during the time they are calling to us, and then I have to check my father to the hospital, to every hospital there. And because at the time I was holding him, we shared in time with the father together, so very hard time. And at night, my first son was there at elementary school. And normally in Korea, people, if son, the kids, they go into the first class, first, year, mom gives us very special care for them, right? They sometimes go to the school in the morning, or during the day, daytime, they take out the kid. But me, I couldn't do such things. So all things are just messed up. So I don't know what we're doing at the time. Yeah. So right now, all passed up. Yeah. So right now, I'm very feel sorry to my father-in-law passed already. Yeah, very sorry for him. And my first kid, very sorry for him. Yeah, everything was just stressful. I don't, that if I remember that year, and yeah, that was at that time I didn't notice that. Yeah, every day, at the time we were watching the television TV, yeah, they are talking about the currency rate, the problem happening in the worldwide. Yeah, yeah, that was a little bit related to my life, so it was special watching this movie. Yeah, so it was yeah, in the morning. Yeah, it was a good choice to watch that movie. I was just touching the Netflix, so and to relax myself, and I found that movie, and that was really nice. So yeah, The Big Short. If you haven't watched it yet, why don't you just try one today? It was yeah, become one of my the movie that I like it. So I strongly recommend it. Okay, already 20 past, so maybe have a great Sunday. Yeah, have a great Sunday. I have to take out the laundry. Yeah, bye bye. Have a great Sunday. Can I upload this movie to the YouTube? Because I don't think my pronunciation is not that clear.